Hi YouTube, it's Toy. Today is Monday, August 3rd, 2009, and it's time for my TransScribersFTM video. This week's topic is first reactions, how we first reacted when we found out our partners were trans. So first let me give you a little bit of a history on Chase's and I's relationship. I don't know if that was said right, but you know what I mean. We met online. We both played a game called Second Life. He played a male character and I played a female character. And when we first started hanging out together in the game, this would be my son. When we first started hanging out together in the game, there was no reason for him to tell me anything other than his character's name. And, you know, we talked about what we were doing in the game. There was no reason for me to know anything about him other than that. So that is the basis for the rest of my answers up until a point. Was your partner already trans-identified before you met him, or did he have to at some point tell you or come out to you? I don't think that he identified as trans. I know he felt different. This was something that we later talked about. There was always something that he was experiencing within himself. It was never anything he acknowledged to the outside world. He just suppressed it and eventually ended up using Second Life as an outlet for it. But I don't think he identified as trans. It was once we started talking about this together and said, you know, you're not the only person that this is happening to. You're not the only person that feels like this. Let's see what we can find out. And I think we came to the transgender conclusion together. He might recall it differently. I'm not sure. We didn't really discuss these questions because the answers are so mostly cut and dry as far as reactions. But so no, I don't think he identified as trans. I think that was something we came to together. How did you take it when you first found out that your partner was trans? Again, I didn't really find out that he was trans. I did find out that he was a biological woman. And the way that happened was within the game, we had other friends who were couples, which we were in the game. And they were meeting in real life and stuff like that. And we had originally talked about never meeting in real life. It was what we called the fourth wall. We never wanted to break the fourth wall. And I was okay with that at the beginning. I was even okay with that towards the end, just before I found out. What caused me to question him wasn't so much the fact that we couldn't meet. It was why we couldn't meet, because he would always say things like, I would hate him if we ever met in real life. I would feel betrayed by him. Things like that. And I thought, God, he doesn't think I'm that horrible of a person. What could it possibly be about him that would make him think that I'm going to respond that way? So I started really trying to come up with stuff in my head. And like I said before, I came up with some crazy things. Finally, the two most realistic conclusions I came to was that he was either one, really, really old, or two, he was a biological woman. I didn't think of it in terms of biological woman at the time. I just thought either he's really old or he's a chick. That's what I thought. I think I was more put off by the if he's really old thing, only because that's just old men. Not well. Yeah. Anyway, when I stopped and thought about, okay, now what if he is a biological woman? It was interesting because we had had conversations prior to him telling me, where I talked about it not being anything physical about him that attracted me to him. That it was the essence, at the time, what I said was, it's the essence of the man that you are that I love. Nothing else. So nothing else matters. Whatever physical thing it is that you think is going to make me go running away screaming doesn't matter. It's the essence of the person that you are. When I thought about if he was a woman, that statement was still true. It's the essence of the person that he is, not the package. So, I had kind of come to peace with both of them, both of the alternatives, whether or not he was really old or if he was a woman, before I even knew that I was right about either one of them. So that was that. Did it in any way change your feelings, either positively or negatively? No, it did not. The only thing that I felt about what he wasn't telling me was it really bothered me that it was so burdensome to him, that there was this huge black cloud hanging over us, that he was constantly afraid I was going to find out whatever the secret was and walk away. That bothered me. Nothing else bothered me. How and when did he tell you? Well, we had, again, a couple of friends in-game who had met in real life, and the girl was telling me about how awesome it was and how now they had been together in the game for like 2 years. So she was telling me how awesome it was when they finally met and how everything was so natural and this, that, and the other thing. And I was talking about it with him, and he said, he asked me if it bothered me to know that we could never have that. And I had said, again, in some way, I'm not exactly sure how I put it, but I said, I wish you would just tell me what it is. I don't like the fact that you're walking around with this. And, you know, he said, when you really want to know, I'll tell you. I don't know what made him say that particular night. This was sometime in April. But he said, when you really want to know, I'll tell you. I said, I really want to know. And he said, you know, make sure that this is what you want, because everything's going to be different as soon as I say it. You can't unring a bell. And I was just like, no, I want to know. And he introduced himself to me using his birth name. And I was like, I still love you, so what now? And he was stunned, to say the least. I guess because I had already made my peace with it, it didn't faze me at all. I was just like, okay, got that off your chest? Let's go. Whatever. I think we were decorating our little island thing that we were in Second Life with. But it didn't faze me at all. Did it make you question your own gender identity or sexual orientation? For about a half an hour, it did. I had gone out to get cigarettes the next day, and I was sitting in the car in the parking lot and watching people walk in and out. I think I was waiting to back up, and I saw a man and a woman walk out. And for whatever reason, I looked at them both and I thought,